My name is Jenny Hogg, and I am an associate professor in the Department of Health and Human Performance. I teach primarily in the graduate athletic training program. I had them generate a 4-paragraph introduction to a manuscript, and I gave them a prompt. Your prompt is to prove that this causes this, that poor biomechanics causes ACL injuries in the knee. And then I want you to take that prompt and tear it apart. Pick out the references. Do the references that ChatGPT uses, that AI uses, make sense? Are the references sound? And in so doing, getting them to dive into the literature, and I had them answer a series of questions about the references that the large language model generated. My process for making this assignment was that in talking with the faculty fellows last fall, a lot of us realized that AI is not all that reliable. So coming up with an assignment that depended on its reliability to me seemed like a poor idea. So what I wanted to do was to play on its inaccuracies. So for that reason, that's why I made this assignment. I did not want the assignment to be dependent on AI's perfection, because it's clearly not, and also because I do enjoy writing, and I think that writing is so personal. Even in a scientific field, even in a technical field, if you can't put words on paper, then you don't understand it clearly. So I thought that having a writing assignment in which my students picked apart the poor arguments generated by AI would be valuable for their thought processes. I think the big challenges are that it raises the bar, is that students can, fact check me in real time. And they've always been able to do that with Google. And like I said, students do enjoy being critical, and that they'll be critical of the AI generated text. They'll also be critical of me. So it certainly raises the bar. And I have got to be on my toes more, but it makes me a better scholar. I've got to know the content better than an AI-generated bot. And it requires me to have thought about that content a lot more in depth than what I can get out of a machine. So it is challenging teaching alongside AI, but I think the rewards, if you're willing to put in the work, the rewards are also there. Yeah, I encourage other professors to share it with their students and to teach it and say this is what it can do. I had an interaction with a student last semester early on, and I told him, I said, I used ChatGPT to write these questions. And I had one student say, well, I'm going to use ChatGPT to answer a question, and so we kind of made a bet, and she said, I bet you can't tell which one I didn't write. I'm like, I bet I could. And as I'm reading her assignment, I'm like, oh, this question was written by ChatGPT, and I called it out. And she's like, how did you know that? I'm like, it's clear. Like, if you read a lot, you can figure it out. So, she wasn't afraid to try out ChatGPT and see what it can do and see its fallacies. So, is that I'm not saying it's a morally gray area, but it's, encouraging students to explore and mess up. Like, it's okay if you screw up. Like, I'm not looking at you and saying, oh, you cheated for using it. Like, no, we need to be able to think about these things critically, and learning is the outcome, and thinking critically is the outcome, not necessarily just getting a single answer right or wrong. There are lots of different ways to learn.